relationships. And this is the second thing that I've been tasked with teaching is the importance of godly relationships. And my subtitle for the importance of godly relationships is this: show me the company you keep and I will show you your future. Show me the company you keep and I will show you your future. Who you hang around with will absolutely affect your life. That's how important godly relationships. Show me your company and I'll show you your future. In Proverbs 27, verses 17 or 27, 17, I'm going to read this from the Amplified because I like the way the Amplified says it. It says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens and influences another through discussion. Iron sharpens iron. Iron doesn't sharpen wood. Wood disintegrates with iron. But iron sharpens iron. Godly relationships are that influence in your life that you need. It's that influence in your life that you need. You know, a godly relationship is there for you. They'll pray for you. They're in your corner. They're not just there as a cheerleader. A godly relationship will pray for you when you need it. A godly relationship will pray for you when you need it. And there are three types of godly relationships that, and I'm just going to talk about real quick, that I think everyone should have. Everyone should have someone above them that is guiding them. Everyone should have a spiritual covering. Bishop Aguilar is Pastor David's spiritual covering. So are many people around the country. Everyone needs a mentor or someone that is guiding their life spiritually. And then you also need someone that's your peer. You need someone that is your friend, someone that you have something in common with, someone that you can bounce ideas off of, someone that you can tell anything to. And they're not going to judge you. They're not going to disown you. You need a peer that's got the same goals that you have, a peer that's going somewhere. That's an important godly relationship. And the third godly relationship you need is someone beneath you. You're getting help from your mentor. You're getting encouragement from your peer. Now use that and help someone else. Everyone should have someone above them, someone beside them, and someone that they're helping. And those are the relationships that are important in your life. And I'll talk about a couple of mine real quick because it's important to know. My best friend, his name is Pastor Chris Thomas. And we've been friends for, 15 years. And we can talk about anything. If I slip up, I can call him and tell him. If he slips up, he can call and tell me without any worry of it getting posted on Facebook or anything like that. And we challenge each other. We met in South Carolina at a call center, and I don't remember whose office we were in, but he looked at me and he said, "You really need to go to Bible college." Who is this guy? What are you talking about? Do you know how many Creflo Dollar DVDs I have? Do you know how much I watch TBN? Bible college, I read the Bible every day. He said, really? He said, tell me what you think about the book of Galatians and how the Judaizers were the influence and why Paul wrote that letter. I'm like, the Judah who? No one knows what a Judaizer is. Who cares about that? You know? And he looked at me and he said, if you're gonna teach the word, teach the real word, teach the whole word. He goes, and you can't teach from the book of Galatians if you don't know what a Judaizer is. And at the time, I was kind of in my feelings about it. You know, I was sensitive. I shouldn't have been. But I eventually let that sink in and went to Bible college. And about 2 years into Bible college, I get my course mailed to me, and I'm taking a course on the book of Galatians. The book of Galatians. It's been 2 or 3 years since he asked me that question. And now I understand why he said that. Now I can teach the book of Galatians because I know the purpose of the book of Galatians. I know why Paul wrote that letter. So I called him and I just blindsided him with it. And I said, you asked me a question a while back. It was like 3 years ago. And I just wanted to answer it. And he's like, okay. I said, Paul was writing the book or the letter to the Galatian church because of how the Galatians had been influenced by the Judaizers. And the Judaizers were people that were trying to get the Christians to live half by the law and half by grace. And we don't serve a half law, half grace God. We serve a whole grace God. That's why Paul said, foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? And I hit him with that, and he goes, what are you talking about? I said, well, obviously the conversation meant more to me than it did you. I said, 3 years ago in South Carolina, you asked me to explain what the Judaizers were and why that affected the Galatian church. And I'm just calling to let you know the answer. See, but you need friends like that. You need friends that will push you and that will push you to do greater things for God. You need friends that will push you to do things for the kingdom. You know, the Bible says, what does lawlessness have in common with law? If everyone has non-Christian friends, and I get that. We have to have people that aren't Christians in our life. But don't be unequally yoked there. Don't be unequally yoked there. Christian relationships, godly relationships are important because you're either getting help from someone above you, getting ideas and support from someone beside you, or helping someone that needs help. And that's what makes godly relationships so important. If you're blessed to have someone helping you, help a peer. If you're blessed to have someone helping you, help someone else. The greatest form of leadership is not how many followers you have. It's not how many followers you have. I was talking with Bishop yesterday, and he wasn't telling me about the size of his church. He was telling me about all the people that he provided spiritual covering for. That's what leadership is. Leadership is not gaining more followers. Leadership is creating more leaders. When I talk to leaders, I don't care how many followers they have. I want to know how many leaders you've created. How many leaders have you created? How many people are you providing spirit covering for? That's what determines whether you're a mentor or whether you're a leader. Because leaders are about making other leaders. Managers are about themselves. And we all know bosses like that. We all know at work. Who's that boss that's there to help everyone? And who's the boss that's there to use everyone for their own needs and their own promotion? And that's why godly relationships are so important. Now I want to talk a little bit about my mentor, Dr. Tony Lewis. Dr. Tony Lewis, we went into a relationship with him probably in 2010 or 2011, and then we went to a point where I was going through some serious things. And in a time in my life when everyone else but a few people had abandoned me, he stood up for me. And that's what a mentor does. When you're down and you're hurting and you feel like you've been disowned from the people that were supposed to love you and guide you the most, real leadership will stand up and help you in that moment. And many years ago, Dr. Tony Lewis saw things in me that I did not see in myself. He saw things in me that I did not see in myself. He saw this day. He saw this day. He saw me giving those board-certified Christian counselor plaques to your pastor. He saw in me what I did not have the faith to see in myself because I was going through some things and I thought ministry was over for me. And it really wasn't anything that I had done. It was just a bunch of ugly circumstances. And when everyone else walked away, he walked closer. And he got me into Bible college. And then I got a bachelor's degree in ministry. And then a master's degree in counseling. And then a PhD in counseling. And that wasn't enough for him. That wasn't enough for him. As soon as I got my PhD, he's like, when are you starting your counseling ministry? When are you going to start teaching for the NACC? I'm like, okay. But, he saw me teaching the classes. I have 82 students right now that I'm teaching. He saw those 82 students when I couldn't see it in myself. And that's what a godly relationship will do for you. When everyone else abandons you, a godly relationship will walk to you, not away from you. And that's why it's so important that we have mentorship. Pastor David and Renee are not going to go away from you when you have troubles. They are going to go to you. Because that's what they were taught by Pastor Renee's father. That's what they were taught by Bishop Aguilar. They don't run from problems, they run to problems. Those plaques tell you that they run to problems. They spent their money to take that course. They gave of their time to take that course so that when you have problems, they can run to you and not away from you. When you call them and you have problems, they're going to set up a counseling appointment because now they're trained in biblical and Christian counseling. They're not going to run from you. They're going to run to you. And that's what a godly relationship does. It runs to you instead of away from you.